You voted for Pretty in Pink. Here it is, right here on Gary's Stuff. Hi there, I'm Gary, welcome to my channel. Welcome back if you've been here before. Today is the final day of the build of my Spitfire Mark 9 in 1/24 scale from Airfix. Now, ages ago I asked my wonderful viewers what they'd like me to do it as, the finish they'd like me to do it as. The one that won was Pretty in Pink, which of course is a reconnaissance aircraft, so I have converted my F Mark 9 into an FR Mark 9. If you want to see how that's done, check out the second of the videos in this series where I deal specifically with the FR9 conversion. However, you can just check out all of them, stay around for this one, enjoy them. If you enjoy any of my videos, please do remember, imperial thumbs up on the like button below. And to make sure you don't miss any videos on my channel, do please remember to subscribe and hit the bell and you'll be notified when new content comes online. And if you'd like to support in a more concrete way, you can do that through Super Thanks. You can do that through becoming a channel member, or you can go through any of my online programs. Now, the most important one of those in this respect is the Airfix affiliate program. If you click on the link down there, click then through to the Airfix website, buy anything at all, then Airfix at no extra cost to you will make a donation to this channel. Everyone's a winner. Okay, let's get on and see the last finishing touches of this, I must say, rather beautiful Spitfire Mark 9 in 1/24 scale from Airfix. Next on is this tank. It goes under the engine. This comes as two halves, top and bottom half. Top and bottom half. This fillet goes in here. This one end goes in here. The other end is part of one of the mouldings. And then there's this pipe goes in the side here. And then that just fits underneath the engine, just in front of the cross member there. Alright, so next is this front plate for the engine. It's also the back plate for the propeller assembly. Now these are the panels that support the cowlings, and alright, so that one's got to go underneath, that one's going to go through there, so that one goes in there. That's the first one. Then this one goes in here somewhere, there I think. And then it meets up with this front piece here, like this. And it's front propeller plate we just put in, and that kind of like boxes the engine compartment up. And these fillet pieces go in on the ends of the wings. It's got to tuck. Interesting. It's got to kind of tuck underneath somehow. Yeah. There we go. We put it in there and then shuffle it up. And it can click into place in there. Yeah, it would have been better to put this in first, I suspect, but there we go. Pieces in, just get it settled down, get it glued in. These exhaust stubs each come in two halves, and they're a bit of a pain to put together. I suspect someone before too long will do these in resin and save you all of this trouble. But for the moment, this is what you have to do. On all 12 of them. Okay, these pieces are part of the air scoop. It goes under the engine. It says 2 halves there, and then the sides slot on like so. Then when you've put the sides on and you put this collar on the end, the collar goes onto the bottom of the engine inlet like so. Then I'm putting the bottom cowling on. You don't have to put the bottom cowling on, you can leave it off if you like. I'm putting mine on. Fits in just here and connects to the front of the that back plate of the propeller right there, and that's that. The 2 parts of the propeller hub just simply go together like so. Then there's a top plate that fits in here. Then there's a front cover plate that goes on like so, and we paint all this up in various metallic shades. Then you can go along the line putting the exhaust stacks together, exhaust stubs in, one by one. There's 6 on each side. Now the propeller boss, the propeller assembly here, mountings, whatever you call it, that sits on the back plate of the prop boss. What happens eventually, when we got the propellers on, the boss will sit over top. So you can see that all that time I spent painting the interior is completely wasted. So this is only if you're going to have the front boss taken off as well, then you paint and texture all of this. Otherwise, don't bother. And then that assembly can go onto the front here, and I'm going to, not quite 45 degrees from the vertical, just slightly off, just give it a bit of interest. There we go. Now each propeller blade comes in 2 pieces, so there's the main blade itself, then there's this little fillet. I guess they couldn't mould that in one go, so you have to put this in, and you know, it does need a little bit of filling and smoothing just to get it all nice. Then these ends obviously fit into the propeller stub assembly that's already on there. So when those are all done, we'll spray them up, put the tips on, put the markings on, and then the propellers are ready for later on to go onto the aircraft. First of all, we put in this kind of brace. Sits in there. Kind of roughly perpendicular to the wall. Then the leg goes in. It's quite a tricky little fit to get this in. And the idea is that that brace connects to the end of the leg as well. Right, also it took a bit of pushing to get this in, but you can see this has been pushed in all the way to here, and then the end of this leg here fits in with that bracket we put in just a moment ago. What we do then is there's a filler piece that goes over here that we'll put that in, and then the leg's in place. Just do the same for the other side. Now when you've put the flaps in underneath the plane, you get very straightforward, but this piece then needs to go in, which is part of the actuator mechanism, which pokes up through the top of the aircraft when the flaps are up. So when the flaps are out, deployed. So there's a little arm that pops up. And of course, this being a Spitfire, everything gets covered up to maintain the best possible speed. So there's a little door that pops up when the flaps are set down to allow for this actuator to sit up. Then we can put the propellers on. Now the propellers have numbers on the blades, on these little decals, and those numbers go clockwise from the front, so 1, 2, 3, 4 for example. Right, for the door for the camera, what I'm going to do is sort of put this piece of plastic rod in here, and this is going to be like the hinge position, so it sits slightly out from the body, but then I'll put the door on top of it, so it will support the door, and from the other side it will look like a hinge even though it's a bit too big. So let that dry, paint that aluminium obviously, then I can finish making the door, put the door on, put a little strut on, job's done. Right, so here's the last bit of construction really for the project, is the door for the camera. And what I've done is, having taken the door out, now remember I actually had a spare half of the fuselage, so it was a lot easier to do it. If you haven't, you're going to have to cut this out really carefully. I've then cut a hole in the middle here, just cut that to size. I've filled it with a piece of, I don't know if you see, just see it has actually got something in it. It's a piece of clear plastic from an old CD box, actually. You remember compact discs? Well, that's what it came from. Painted the inside aluminium, put a couple of sort of thin pieces of foil on there for the interior straps, supports. Put a little tab on there for the opening, the sort of strut that keeps it open. I've put that bead there, piece of round stock there to act as a hinge, then that will sit on top like that, and then I'll put a piece of straight in to hold it open, and that'll be that. That will be the door done. Well, that's it then. That's the Spitfire done and dusted. When I first got the kit, I looked at it and I thought, oh, good grief, what have I done? Then I asked you all for your opinions into what colours it should come back, and I made what I thought was a mistake of offering the PRU pink version, which soon after I put that up, I realised I'm going to have to do some conversion work if they choose this. And you did. So I've done some conversion work, but you know, this project has really grown on me as I've gone along. I've really enjoyed the challenges. I've really enjoyed the result. I'm really happy with my Spitfire. I hope you enjoy it too. If you have, of course, Imperial thumbs up on the like button below. And if you haven't done so yet, please do subscribe to the channel. Hit the bell and you'll get notified of all of my future builds. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you for coming along for the ride if you've seen all the Spitfire videos. Thank you for your votes. Thank you for your support. And I will see you next time. Take very good care now. Goodbye.